or even the Foster Parent Association, to tell them how important the role of parents are and what kinds of developmental things they could do for any child, and particularly for foster children in this case. So it's a matter of cajoling and informing, but also maybe I was going to say tattling, but using the power of the web to have folks know what's going on in their own community in a very easy way.
It affects everybody in the community. I mean, if you've got somebody living next door to you and they have two or three foster kids, you want those kids next door to you to do well in school if your kids are in school, because those kids could influence your kids.
Yes, yeah. And that's why we called it Everybody's a Teacher, because if you're involved in that child's life in any way, you are a teacher. We learn daily. Even as adults, we learn daily. But children absorb so much information, so any amount of time you spend with that child, essentially you're teaching them something. And we have to just get that message out. And these community conversations we're holding around the state, and I want you to understand this is not a multi-million-dollar government project that there's tons of money being dumped in. It's a small project. Primarily the money went towards putting together what we called a backpack, which is resources to provide to the communities, and a video featuring children who were raised in foster care, and they talk about their struggles going through school, and guardian ad litems and volunteers and teachers and that sort of thing.
How far along is this now? This Everybody's a Teacher. I mean, are you holding meetings already?
Yes, we've already held a meeting up in Tallahassee. It's on the website. You can link to it on foreverfamily.org. But it's just really important that everybody get involved. And again, there's a way for everybody to get involved and everybody make a difference in their lives.
How?
Come to one of the community conversations we're hosting. Look at the information in the backpack. Think of some ideas. Any child that you touch in your life, it doesn't have to be a foster child if you don't know a foster child. When you're with that child, realizing that you're helping to shape and mold their life and their education in some way.
We have talked a number of times about kids aging out of foster care, and if their education is lacking, they're really in trouble at that age, aren't they? Even more vulnerable.
Yes, absolutely. We've talked about it before. When these kids turn 18, on their 18th birthday, there's no party. There's, it's time to move out of foster care. You're no longer a child. You're an adult now. It happens overnight.
Here's your paperwork.
And you get moved to an apartment, say, with a twin-size bed or whatever you have. But there are agencies in the community and people now in the community helping. But a lot of these kids, because they've been moved so many
times
to so many different high schools, and it sounds crazy, but some of them up to 10, 20 different schools.
Wow.
A lot of them are 18 and 10th grade. So there are monthly stipends available, but in order for the children to qualify for these monthly stipends, they have to remain in school. But they have to remain in school and arrange their transportation to get to school. They have to have passing grades, and they have to have a full-time job so that they can afford, not a full-time, maybe a part-time, if they qualify for the stipend. So it's kind of a catch-22. You have to do all of these things to qualify for the money, but if you're so far behind in school and you just can't do it, then you don't get any monthly stipend.
And they have to have some kind of job to really have some money.
Right.
The stipend doesn't cover all living expenses. Just to make a point, I was looking at the statistics. Kids that are aging out of foster care now, as you look at these statistics, it may be because they are lacking in education and they fell behind. 51% of these kids were unemployed. I think that was within 2 years. 40% were homeless.
Yep.
Of kids that are aging out of foster care. 46% of them didn't finish high school at all.
Right, and we even have a number that's more startling, is that in the past year or two, only 25% of children in foster care received a standard high school diploma. 25%.
So that's where this Everybody's a Teacher comes in.
That's exactly why Everybody's a Teacher is so important. You know, these kids, they don't know how important an education is unless somebody tells them. They don't know that they're supposed to study unless somebody shows them. You know, and if you're moving from place to place to place, the person who's going to show you that may not be a consistent person. You may have a foster parent who's busy being a foster parent and doesn't spend time on education. So it really is important to get everybody to focus on the education. I know that you asked earlier about what people could do and how we were going to plan community conversations. DCF has really taken a lead in this, together with their partners from the school systems and others in the community. In Broward, there was just a meeting where I showed the video that people can see by linking through the Forever Family website. It's the easiest way to get there. I showed the video. Everybody was so, oh my God, that's right, kind of reaction. We really
because it just makes sense
to do,
doesn't it?
We need to do this. And a woman from the board of directors of the United Way said, you know, our mission is education, but we hadn't really thought about making sure that children in foster care get an education. And the Children's Services Council people said, you know, we've really focused on making sure that kids get an education. We need to be part of that conversation as well. And as we present to different people, they go, oh, of course. And I think some of that is the message that Gia and her creative partners helped develop, frankly. I want to give her a compliment if I could. I've been working on education for kids in foster care and how important it is for over 20 years. You know, I've been trying to tell people in an individual case where I represent a child, or on a committee that I would sit on, or when I worked with the legislature. It really didn't matter.
And she does a video?
She does a video. She changes the message. And it's easy now for me to show the video, get people involved, set up a committee. We're going to invite the community to the meeting, but everybody's now involved and engaged. And it just makes all the difference in the world, which is why I volunteer for her, because that using the media and framing messages is a real talent. And it's a really important and making a huge difference. As I travel around the state for the things that I do, I see it in every community that she's in.
Now, we've got just a couple of minutes to go. If people want to get involved, if they want to find out where these meetings are going to be, or if their school system is involved with this Everybody's a Teacher program, what do they do?
They should log on to foreverfamily.org and click on the Everybody's a Teacher link. It's as simple as that.
And they can see the video that
the
you've
videos are
produced.
there, and there are other videos as well. Television news stories that have aired around the state on all of our TV partner stations.
You've got how many other people producing videos in other markets?
We are on 7 major broadcast stations: NBC, ABC, and CBS, and also now we've been doing some segments with MSNBC and Lifetime.
Now, these are around the state of Florida.
Around the state of Florida. The goal is, if there is a family-friendly corporation who'd like to take advantage of $5.5 million worth of free airtime, I'd love to hear from you.
See, she's always thinking.
We can we have a golden opportunity here. Forever Family is brought to you by on all of these TV stations around the state.
And you see an awful lot of that, corporations getting involved.
It's
cause-related
marketing.
And
it's the best. They say, I think it's customers, I think, are like 75% more likely to buy your products if they know that you're a good community steward.
And it's good for these companies to get involved also,
no doubt about it.
Isn't it?
Yep.
And the website is foreverfamily.org. And it's singular, foreverfamily.org.
Yes.
And all the information on this Everybody's a Teacher is
yes,
there.
You click there and you'll go straight to our partner, the Department of Children and Families page, and there's so much information on there.
Well, I got to tell you, Andrea thought would try to convince me that she might be shy when it came to doing this program before we were recording, but boy, she cranked it up here.
She did, and Andrea is also an adoptive mom, and I honestly, she's done so much for Forever Family. I could never thank her enough, and also you, Ron. We really appreciate it.
She knows firsthand. Andrea Moore and Gia Tuttle-Omote, thanks for being with us. And the website again is
foreverfamily.org, or call us at 888-365-FAMILY.